Right now, while you're watching this, your body is doing something it was never designed to stop doing. Something so simple, so ancient, that no pharmaceutical company can patent it, no supplement brand can bottle it, and no lab will ever fund a study large enough to prove what they already know, because there's no money in it. Zero. And that's exactly why you've never been told the full truth about it. Let's start with a number that should unsettle you. In 2023, the global anti-aging market was valued at $67.2 billion. Billion. That's serums, peptides, NMN, NAD precursors, red light panels, hyperbaric chambers, cold plunge tubs with Bluetooth. An entire industry built on the assumption that longevity is something you purchase, something you add, something that arrives in a package with a subscription discount. And yet the longest-lived populations on Earth, the ones researchers fly across oceans to study, don't use any of it. Not one thing. What they do instead costs nothing, and your body already knows how to do it. You breathe. But not the way you're breathing right now. Right now, notice it. Feel your chest. If it's rising toward your collarbone, if your shoulders lift even slightly on the inhale, you're breathing in a pattern that your nervous system reads as low-grade panic. Shallow, fast, upper chest. You've probably been doing it for hours, maybe years, and it's not neutral. It's not just how people breathe. It is a chemical event that changes your blood pH, spikes cortisol, suppresses your vagus nerve, and over time, over decades of doing this 16 to 20,000 times a day, it accelerates the one biological process that aging researchers consider the root of nearly every chronic disease: inflammation. Here's where it gets specific. In 2014, researchers at the Medical University of South Carolina measured inflammatory markers, interleukin-6, C-reactive protein, tumor necrosis factor alpha, in subjects who practiced slow diaphragmatic breathing for 20 minutes a day. Just 20 minutes. No supplements, no devices, just 6 breaths per minute, deep into the belly with a prolonged exhale. After 12 weeks, their inflammatory markers dropped, not by a little, by a statistically significant margin that rivaled some pharmaceutical interventions. The study was published, peer-reviewed, and then it quietly disappeared into the back pages of a journal nobody outside academic medicine reads. No headline, no product launch, no influencer unboxing, because you can't sell air. Think about that rhythm for a moment. 6 breaths per minute. That's a 5-second inhale, a 5-second exhale. Try it once, right now. Breathe in through your nose. Feel your belly expand like a balloon filling from the bottom, and then release it slowly through your nose. Feel your ribs soften. Feel the slight warmth behind your sternum. That single breath just triggered your parasympathetic nervous system. Your heart rate variability shifted. Your vagus nerve fired a signal to your gut, your heart, your immune cells. One breath did that. Now imagine 10,000 of those a day instead of 10,000 panicked sips of air. This is where most people nod and move on. They think they understand. Breathing is good, stress is bad. Deep breaths help. Simple. But that surface understanding is exactly what keeps the deeper mechanism hidden. Because this isn't about relaxation. It's not about feeling calm. It's about a molecule called nitric oxide and what happens when you breathe correctly through your nose at a slow, controlled pace. Your paranasal sinuses produce nitric oxide, a vasodilator that opens blood vessels, increases oxygen absorption at the alveolar level, and has direct antimicrobial properties. Mouth breathing bypasses this entirely. Every mouth breath you take is a breath without nitric oxide. Every night you sleep with your mouth open, your body misses hours of a compound that Nobel Prize-winning research identified as one of the most critical signaling molecules in cardiovascular health. The 1998 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded for this discovery. It wasn't fringe science. It was the pinnacle of medical recognition. And still, your doctor has probably never once asked you how you breathe. There's a reason for that, and it's not conspiracy. It's economics. Medical school curricula are built around pathology and pharmacology. Doctors learn what breaks and what drug fixes it. Breathing mechanics fall into a dead zone, too simple for specialized medicine, too important for wellness influencers to leave alone, and too unprofitable for anyone to champion at scale. So it sits there, exposed but ignored, like a cure on a shelf that nobody reaches for because it doesn't glow. Now here's where the floor drops. You'd think the answer is just breathe slower, breathe through your nose, and you're done. Add 20 minutes of breath work to your morning routine, buy some mouth tape for sleep, and move on with your optimized life. And yes, those things help, but the real secret isn't the breathing itself. It's what the breathing reveals about everything else you've been sold. Every longevity product on the market is trying to solve a problem that chronic dysfunctional breathing creates. Elevated cortisol, poor sleep, systemic inflammation, impaired circulation, weakened immune signaling, gut permeability. You buy magnesium for sleep that bad breathing disrupted. You buy adaptogens for stress that shallow breathing amplified. You buy omega-3s for inflammation that your own respiratory pattern is feeding every single second. You're mopping the floor with the faucet running, and the industry doesn't need you to turn off the faucet. The industry needs the flood. $67 billion a year needs the flood. This doesn't mean every supplement is useless. It doesn't mean biohacking is a scam. Some of it works. Some of it is backed by rigorous science. But the foundation, the thing beneath all of it, is a respiratory pattern that you've never been taught to fix. And until you fix it, everything you stack on top is built on a body that is quietly, chemically, hormonally convinced that it is in danger. 16 hours a day, 20,000 breaths, each one a vote for survival mode or recovery mode. And you've been voting wrong without knowing there was an election. The communities in Okinawa, Sardinia, Ikaria, the so-called blue zones, they don't practice breathwork. They don't think about it, but their lifestyles enforce it. Slow meals, walking, not running, conversation, manual labor at low intensity, laughter, afternoon rest. Everything they do naturally down-regulates their breathing rate to that sweet spot, 6 to 10 breaths per minute. Their longevity isn't mysterious, it's respiratory, it's nervous system deep, and it's free. So, here's the question that should keep you up tonight, though preferably with your mouth closed. If the single most impactful thing you could do for your longevity, your inflammation, your heart, your sleep, your gut, your mood, and your immune system costs absolutely nothing and takes no equipment and no subscription, why did you hear about it from a YouTube video and not from the system that's supposed to keep you alive? Who benefits from you not knowing this? And now that you do know, what are you going to do about it tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. when your alarm goes off and your chest tightens and your mouth opens and your body starts casting 20,000 votes again? You already know the answer. You've always known. You just weren't breathing slowly enough to hear it. The cure was never on the shelf. It was in the air.